Okay, guys, so we're back for our next lesson. Today's for Wednesday's lesson. So you guys need to have your MyView book out and a highlighter. Once you get your MyView book out, you need to turn to 173. We're gonna focus on Miss Stone to start with. We're gonna skip the firefighter face poem because there's nothing to highlight. Okay. So here we're going to highlight details that you can reread to check your understanding of how the speaker's feeling changed from the first stanza of this poem to the last stanza. So remember this is a stanza right here. So this would be the first stanza and this would be the last, okay? My wishes gathered like ants. I wish there was no recess. I wish there was no first day. I wish somebody, anybody, would come over and ask me to play. Then you said, "Excuse me, would you keep me company? I'm feeling all alone. Remember, Miss Stone? I loved you that day. You made me my unhappy thoughts scamper away." So obviously at the beginning in the first stanza, she was sad, right? And it tells us that. So you need to highlight that last sentence there. I wish somebody, anybody, and then this very first part too, would come over and ask me to play, where it kind of carries on into the next stanza. So I'll do yellow here. So I wished somebody, anybody, would come over and ask me to play. You need to highlight those two things. Okay? Then you need to go all the way to the bottom. And I'm going to try to line it up where it says here, you made my unhappy thought scamper away. Because you also need to underline those things. So you made my unhappy thoughts scamper away. Okay, so I need to go ahead and clear my screen. If you're not finished, go ahead and pause me and get where you need to get. Okay. And this next one, I think I'm highlighting and underlining it if I remember correctly. Yes. The race. So we need to highlight details that are supported when you check your visual cues in the illustration. Okay. So I don't have the picture. Well, I guess I do have the picture. It's right here. So they're talking about this picture here. You can't see all of it in mine. But if you go down to 25, line 25, I'm not going to reread this whole poem right now. But if you go down to 25, it says they swept across the finish line and Abuela flashed a smile. So that's what they're wanting us to highlight. But I don't see. I'm looking at the book to figure out where Abuela is. I'm not sure. But they want us to highlight. They swept across the finish line because we can see that happening. And that's all I'm going to have you highlight. They swept across the finish line because we can see that happening, right? She's sweeping across in the picture, and the other people are upset because they lost. So I'll go ahead and read it really quick, just out loud, but I'm going to keep this up on the screen. The race. She rode a horse named Fina when women didn't ride. They galloped around the mountain, her legs on Fina's side. She let her hair down from its bun and felt it whip and fly. She laughed and sang and whooped out loud. Up there she wasn't shy. One day Great Grandma found her out and planned to stop it all. But down in town they'd heard some news that they told her of a call. A call for caballeros from all the highs and lows to race their fancy caballos to try and win the rose. Abuela looked at Fina, a twinkle in her eye. Abuela said, "Let's enter. This race deserves a try." At dawn she was the only girl, but didn't even care. She came to meet the challenge, and her horse was waiting there. They swept across the finish line much faster than the rest. She flung her hat without surprise. She'd always done her best. Fina shook her mane and stomped. Abuela flashed a smile. She sniffed the rose and trotted off in cabaret style. All right. So now if we go to the next story, yep, in Daddy's Arms, there is some highlighting in that one. Let me erase my screen and get my cursor back. I'm going to just read the poem first, okay? We are highlighting stanzas that you can understand better if you use your background knowledge about the sun and the moon when you read them. So background knowledge means something you already knew about the sun and the moon, okay? All right. In Daddy's arms, I am tall and close to the sun and warm. In Daddy's arms. In Daddy's arms, I can see over the fence out back. I can touch the bottom leaves of the big magnolia tree. In Cousin Sookie's yard. In Daddy's arms. In Daddy's arms, the moon is close, closer at night when I can almost touch it, when it grins back at me from the wide twinkling skies. In Daddy's arms, I am tall, taller than Benny and my friends Aid and George, taller than Uncle Billy, and best of all, I am eyeball even Steven with my big brother Jamal. I am strong and dark like him and laughing happier than the circus clowns, with red painted grins when Daddy spins me round and round, and the whole world is crazy upside down. I am big and strong and proud like him in Daddy's arms, my daddy. All right. So we need to highlight that whole, it's talking about stanzas, so we're going to highlight whole blocks here. So we're actually going to highlight the entire first stanza. In Daddy's arms, I am tall and close to the sun and warm in Daddy's arms, because that talks about the sun. So we know that the sun is really hot, right? And it's high up in the sky. So obviously the taller you are, the closer you are to the sun. Okay. So you need to highlight all of that first paragraph, or first stanza, I'm sorry. If you need to see it, so pause your screen because I'm going to clear my page. Okay, nope, I need my cursor back because I'm going to go down here to 10. I'm going to highlight all where it starts at line 10. I'm going to highlight that whole next stanza. In my daddy's arms, the moon is close, closer at nighttime when I can almost touch it, when it grins back at me from the wide twinkling skies. So again, the background knowledge is what you already know about the moon and the sun, okay? If you didn't know anything about the moon and the sun, this probably wouldn't make very much sense. We know it comes out at night. We know it's high up in the sky, okay? All right, so let's see. My pages are not coming apart. Okay. And there's nothing to highlight in the Wright Brothers poem. So we are done with this, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and clear my screen, and I need to check back here. So I want to teach you guys how to do an acrostic poem. And so I was going to do this whole group, but I'm just going to show you on a doc. I was going to do it up on the whiteboard because you're going to do your own acrostic poem. So I'm going to do one about winter, okay? So in acrostic, I'm going to make these letters bigger. I'm going to type the word winter. I want to make them quite a bit bigger. So W, I'm going to do these in all caps, N-T-R. E-R, geez, oh, Pete, Miss Jackson. Okay, so now I'm just going to use each next one of my words. I'm going to use words to describe winter that start with each letter. So let's see. Windy. Ice. I need to think about N. Let's see. Really cold. I'm going to do really cold because you can do a couple of words if you want. Sorry, I need to go back down to what was the size here. Really cold would work. Entertaining. There's a lot of stuff to do in winter, so I'm going to put that for E, entertaining. I also think it's kind of tiring because it's dark early. So I'm going to write tiring for T. And then M, this one's going to sound kind of lame, but I'm going to put nasty because sometimes the ice can get nasty, weather-wise can get nasty, okay? So that is an acrostic poem. Winter, windy, ice, nasty, tiring, entertaining, really cold. That would be how you would read your poem. Okay? So when you get to Daily 5, I'll explain what you're going to do on yours. So you're going to do your normal read to self, record your flip grid. Then you're going to get on Seesaw and you're going to do your acrostic poem over kindness, okay? So each line has to start with that letter. It can be one word or multiple words if you want to, okay, about kindness. So this says, keep a smile on my face to show I care. I will include my friends when I play at recess. So ways you can be kind. Show me how you can be kind using these letters. What can you do? Okay. I do want you to record it and record yourself reading it. It does not have to rhyme, okay? So that's for that. And then you have your highlight story of the week. You can check that off, and then spelling words for work on writing, okay? So you guys should now be ready to move on to Daily 5. You should be able to do almost all of this independently, but the sub is there if you have questions, or you can comment on the video if you get really stuck or confused, okay? This is for Wednesday, so we're getting closer. 2 more days and 2 more school days. I get to come back after that, okay? I'll be back next Monday. All right, bye guys. Take care. See you soon.